I'm standing here with Antigone from a protest. We're at a protest where people are honking at us. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Antigone from Grafton, New Hampshire, who is a Free Stater who moved, how long ago?
4 or 5 months ago. It's all a blur.
Yes, I guess it is. And as soon as you got there, you formed an organization, almost as soon as you got there, an organization called freegrafton.com.
Yeah, so Ian Freeman, Free Keene, put out a challenge to, to compete with Free Keene. So myself and some other people in the Upper Valley area started Free Grafton. It's freegrafton.com. There's videos and news stories about what's happening in Grafton.
Cool. And you really, I mean, I watched the site, and you guys you're pretty active. You seem to be almost as active as Free Keene was toward the beginning, so.
Thanks. Free Keene seems to be pretty successful.
And you guys have been going out and doing very similar stuff.
How about they shut the camera off, or I don't let them be on where they are?
We'll stay here if you can go ask.
You know, you go to court trials and stuff like that, try to interview the bureaucrats or try to get in and talk about why they're not letting you in, and that's classic stuff. It's awesome.
Right. I want to hold people accountable. We're kind of taking a somewhat different approach than Free Keene, but it's all for the same end.
What would you say is the different approach?
Grafton, the neighbors that I've met, people that just, at town meetings and things that I meet, they are pretty anti-taxes, they're pretty anti-big government, they're anti-war, and those are, just local Graftonites. Keene, I think, has a much bigger battle ahead of them, being this college town and very pro-taxes, and I mean, that's what I see anyway. And Grafton, just in general, like, the last meeting I went to was all about streetlights. Most people want to turn off the streetlights. They don't want to pay taxes. And there's an Adopt a Light program. Great, you can voluntarily pay for that streetlight that you and your next door neighbor use and no one else in town uses. Adopt a Light program, great. But Democracy in Action, there were two people that were very emotional and wanted to steal money from other people in order to pay for these streetlights. So it was a very emotional meeting. I basically left after that part and went out and met some of my neighbors, trying to meet as many Graftonites as possible. And Free State didn't come up, Libertarian didn't come up, none of that came up. But they're anti-government, anti-war, and anti-streetlights.
Do you have any thoughts for folks who are still in the other states, that love liberty? Do you think they should all move here, or which ones should, which ones shouldn't?
I try to not judge other activists for, what they want to do, where they want to do it, when they want to do it. This is the best decision that I've ever made in my life. When I answered, I don't know how long I've been here, I was warned before, you're going to hit the ground running, and it is just all a blur. I'm one of the busiest unemployed people I've ever known, and it's just, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of work to do, and coming from California, a big nanny state, I just feel way more comfortable here.
What would you say is tell me a little bit about what specific freedoms you gained when you moved to Grafton from California? Grafton
has one cop. His name is Merle. I know him. We all know him.
And it's 1,300 people in Grafton.
Right.
Right?
Yep. And so he's usually parked in front of Town Hall, and so I mean that's pretty great. And the area too. It's not everyone just living on top of each other. You have to have at least 2 acres to build a dwelling, which, yes, let's get rid of that law, but, people build their driveways back into the property so that, you can't even see their house. People enjoy their privacy. You drive down the roads, there are no cops on the side, and it's just, nature around. There's, I can breathe easier.
And tell me a little about just the activism that you're doing today.
Well, today we are outside the NH State liquor store, which was interesting because in California you can buy liquor anywhere. In New Hampshire, you have to go to a state-run store. They're crazy with their security. Everyone in the car has to come in and get ID'd. It's ridiculous. And so I'm here with a group of people who are basically making the point that alcohol is more dangerous than marijuana, and people know this. People know, that people die from alcohol abuse. They do not die from marijuana abuse, et cetera, and all the political history that marijuana, with it being illegal and how that happened. So there are stadies here, and they're being pretty civil, and people are holding signs and handing out flyers about, the statistics, marijuana versus alcohol, etc.
All right, Tig, I appreciate your time. See you out there, and I appreciate free Grafton too.
Thank you.